coming soon to this theater.
Now!
They thought they were fighting only against aliens. They were sure that they had won their battle, but they were mistaken. Shocking dark.
Fuller.
Fuck you!
A ferocious.
You bastard!
Indestructible. Ruthless Terminator. Shocking dark.
You may be next, and it may be the third segment on the Drive-In Asylum double feature, so who knows what could happen. Now you've got a glimpse of our two movies that we'll be featuring next weekend, Shocking Dark and Alien 2.
Those looked really fun.
AKA Terminator 2 and Alien 2 next week.
Right. It's like an Alien ripoff theme that we have going next weekend, but it's also a Terminator ripoff.
If you like seeing people get thrown off high places, Shocking Dark is the movie for you. And I'm super excited because it happens a lot, and it's great.
Did that actually happen after Aliens?
It was made, after, obviously, yeah. It's.
I was wondering. I was checking.
Yeah.
Making
You
sure
won't ask that after you've seen the movie. You
well,
would
I'm
never
thinking
ask that question.
Can you imagine? Let's just make a better version of that movie.
The Terminator 2 poster art for it is the ballsiest, where they're just like, bring it. Fucking bring lawsuits to Italy. It's wild. But as you're watching it, you'll forget that it's a Terminator movie because it's such an Aliens ripoff. And then when the Terminator stuff happens, you're like, oh, that's the movie I'm watching, that's what makes it amazing.
It's going to be quite an experience. So make sure.
Fun. We'll try to come to that one.
Join us next weekend. Yeah, come hang out.
Yeah.
And but first we have to talk about the Blood Beast Terror.
Yeah.
Our second feature on the double feature tonight. Uncle Spooky, what did you think? This was your first time watching.
I gotta say, it was a little slow for me. I had those problems with some of those Hammer movies too, like where they're just kind of like, just kind of meandering around, like, the old boys club, sitting in the pub, kind of wasting time. Like, yeah, we got 90 minutes, we gotta stretch this out. Maybe it was an eagle.
Yeah, that was the strangest thing. How could he possibly have thought that it was an eagle? I mean, he was supposed to be a brilliant something or other. Scientist?
Yeah, I mean, you know what it felt like? It felt like exactly what like Medusa. No, what was it? The Gorgon. The Gorgon.
The Gorgon,
The
yeah.
same movie almost.
It's similar. Yeah, now that you
Similar.
mention it, the Gorgon, it's also a slow burn, the Gorgon. Oh, what happened to Sam?
He'll be back.
Sam has completely blanked out on us. Hopefully
He
he
didn't
will
like my
return.
answer.
Yeah, he's the one that picked Blood Beast Terror, so he
Oof.
might have left in a huff, as they say.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, you know, maybe if it was like earlier in the day, I could have been a little more into it. I wanted to like it. The dresses were pretty.
The wallpaper was interesting.
The wallpaper was interesting. I liked the decanters.
Let's talk about that for a second. It was like all their alcohol was in decanters.
Were you sucking on a Coke? That's the secret, huh? The third segment secret.
It can't all be booze on the third segment. Sorry. I'm not in my 20s anymore.
Ugh. Tell me about it. But that was the thing. All the guys in the 20s were getting it, huh? In this one.
Yeah, only the guys. That's a switch, you know? That's like a something you didn't often see in movies like
that
this.
Was
That
fun.
that was a
We were
little
all kind of
different.
very, you know, a little attractive. And I feel bad for the Mothman that got burnt up. That was pretty quick.
Moth Woman.
Oh, no. Before that, remember? He was like, I was going to make you
Oh,
a man.
yeah.
But now I see you're a bitch, so I'm just going to kill this other thing.
Yeah.
Prevent that.
There was a lot of social complexity in this film amongst the moth people. Speaking of, well, have you ever seen the Bat People?
I'm going to say no. What's that one?
Oh, that's one of my faves. 1974. It's like a werewolf style film, but except a guy gets bitten by a bat and he turns into a bat monster instead of the Wolfman.
Is that like Morbius that's coming out? Oh, Sam's back.
Sam has returned.
Sam,
I
stop
just
doing
thought
that.
my computer hasn't crashed in a long time.
Oh, the whole thing crashed?
Yeah.
So what is this we're getting? Your phone?
Nope. You had to ask questions and now he's gone.
Whatever it is.
You could have just been happy with Sam.
We need to go back to the drawing board. So anyway, the Bat People was similar to this in that there was the title is the Bat People, and you think, oh, there's going to be more than one bat person. Well, there isn't. You only get one bat in the Bat People. You only got one moth in the Blood Beast Terror, and there was almost two.
The Bat People sounds like the new Morbius. Do you hear that new Morbius movie that's been coming out for the last 3 years?
No.
It's like a superhero with Jared Leto.
I'm hopelessly out of touch with superhero movies.
I'm not really crazy about them either. This one's got that horror twinge. He's like a bat monster thing that he turns into. And it's gonna be on your radar pretty soon.
Any year now. We'll be waiting for it.
Get ready to drop it.
So yeah, this was another one of those movies that hinted at more than it actually gave you. There was a little bit of intrigue about who the monster was going to be, but if you didn't know from the very beginning, you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, go for the bitchy chick.
They totally give it away in the American trailer for The Vampire Beast Craves Blood. They come right out and show you her, and they're like, she craves blood. I'm like, okay.
She was kind of interesting. I would have liked to seen her in another movie. She seemed kind of fun.
Yeah, I loved how intricate her hairdo was, and yet every single day it looked perfect.
You
know what I mean?
It was getting done in the cocoon.
I mean, I hardly do anything with my hair, and I have to make sure it looks just right. And I can't imagine what it would be like to have a hairdo like she did. Those curls were like so tight and yet so large. It was like one of those wicker hot plate things that you made in the 70s.
The other daughter had it too. I mean, she was rocking some curls. She had one dress, she had no luggage.
Yeah, she was.
She was like,
And,
drop me at the train. And he was like, no, let's go to the. And she was like, okay, father, that's it. And you know she wanted to get on the train and get the hell out of Dodge. Back to
she had a
Canada.
hot date in London.
Yeah, right?
It was interesting the way they got around on these. The Uber drivers rode horses.
With the nice boots. Who was she in Amphib? She was super. She wasn't their girlfriend. The one
Amphib, the movie?
Was she in a couple of the other episodes too?
Comment of the evening. Yes, Peter Cushing's cheekbones would have had a murderous life of their own, if possible.
Peter Cushing, oof. He had a lot of lines.
Yeah, it was interesting too. I love the part where he goes into people's houses without ever asking. I think he does it more than once, but there's the one time in particular that I'm talking about. He just pulls up in front of the guy's house. Jimmy's a window open, and then he's walking around in his crypt. It's rude.
I feel like he didn't spend a lot of attention on his daughter, though. He didn't notice her wandering off. Could give some blood.
She was so cheeky too.
Yeah, I liked how they had to use girl blood for the guy moth. I
must have missed that part. Did I?
Well, because remember the girl moth was eating all the guys,
right?
And then they were bringing that thing hanging in the back that was going to be the male Mothman that she was going to mate with. So then he needed female victims.
Is blood gender specific?
I guess. Well, hello, are you paying attention?
Wasn't in the first movie.
No.
He took blood from both genders in the first film.
Yes, there's a lot of Googling, a lot of guzzling. I like the gardener guy was hot. The first one was kind of hot too. The blonde that was just a body the whole time. And I thought his foot twitched in somebody's coming.
You can see that too.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if Sam is back.
Sam may be back.
Crush fingers.
Oh, I did it.
Welcome back.
You guys hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. You sound like you're radioing in from the moon.
I'm on headphones. I thought it might sound better.
I like this sound. It's like we're a call-in show now.
First time, long time. Love Uncle Spooky. Great job tonight on the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun with this one.
Are you glad you watched these two movies with us? Or do you feel like
I definitely love the first one more. Second one, probably, we didn't start at midnight and I hadn't been maybe if I had napped. There's been a little bit, but it was fading in the middle. But,
you needed one of those disco naps we were talking about earlier.
I tried. But then I get on my cell phone and I'm like, well, maybe I should look up something about these movies. So I got something to say. And then I was like, Lynn Redgrave, what was her name? Lynn
Peters?
Lynn Peters. Tried to look her up a little bit. Find something interesting, but she had nothing. I thought maybe she was in maybe some horror TV movies, but nope. I was hoping for that. You watch many horror TV movies here?
Oh, yeah. Not on the show. We haven't watched a lot on the show, but I've watched a bunch.
We just did last week.
Yeah.
What was last week?
A Cold Night's Death.
Mm-hmm.
What's that one about?
See, I hadn't seen it either. Gigi suggested it, and it's a really good. It's almost like a radio play, which is probably a bad thing for most people, but for me, it was like Nirvana. It's just mainly two actors. It's Eli Wallach and Robert Culp, and they're at this Arctic outpost. Thing-esque kind of thing. It's really good. You should check it out. It's not a long watch either.
That's a good title.
I'm not going to spoil anything for you because it's a very low key sort of creeper, and there's a twisty thing that happens, and I don't want to spoil it.
Killer chimps. Okay, I'm in. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll drop it. You never did Salem's Lot on this, have you?
No. Salem's Lot is one of my favorite films of all time, and
Me too. They're
but
redoing it again.
I know, who cares? Like I don't know why people keep doing this stuff,
They do
but
that.
I don't know. Like I don't want another Salem's Lot. I'm real happy with the one that we got,
Me
and
too.
the only reason I haven't done it on the show is because it's so long.
It is long.
Like,
There's a European cut though, that's a little gory.
yeah. It's really not. It's nothing good to cut an hour out of a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
So
it does jump around a lot. Midnight Offerings. Was that the one with the chick from Little House on the Prairie?
Melissa Gilbert?
No,
the
blind sister.
Oh yeah. Sam, help me out here. Who is that?
I hate Little House on the Prairie, so I don't know anyone from it.
She was in a Happy Birthday to Me.
Melissa Sue Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
She plays. I think she plays like the bitchy girl in the bitchy witch in Midnight Offerings, right? I'm looking at the chat.
I'm probably getting her name wrong. It's something Sue Anderson. Yeah.
Melissa Sue Anderson, yeah.
Okay. So there were two Melissas on Little House on the. That's why I was second guessing myself. I'm like, were two actors named Melissa?
I've said it before. If I ever had to go to somebody's house and they were watching that show, I instantly judged them, and I was like, I don't want to play with these kids, these church kids.
These church kids. The early seasons were good.
Yeah, it's like Kenny Powers said, "Stop looking at me with this church ass."
Little House, though, I have to say, I've seen. I mean, I was never a huge fan, but it was kind of weird how dark it went in certain episodes. Like there was some really dark shit on that program.
When they thought you.
When
they thought Mr. Olsen murdered Mrs. Olsen.
Yeah, and
that was the best episode.
Do you remember the one where the girls were skinny dipping and there were some boys that arrived and they dove down under the water and screamed, but only two of them, there were three of them, but only two of them came up. And the third one just drowned.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow, this is some dark shit for Little House on the Prairie.
Is this microphone better for everybody?
Oh, yeah.
You sound great.
These fancy beats aren't working. Let's just do this. Let's talk. Let's just talk. Come on.
Summer of Fear. That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
Don't go to sleep.
She's got.
Oh, we showed the other TV movie we showed was Gargoyles.
Gargoyles ruined me. That was a scary one when I was a kid.
I'm pretty sure we showed
for you too.
As a kid, yeah, for sure.
That was like kinder trauma for me.
Really?
Yeah, totally. And it was just it scared the shit out of me because I was too young to know that wasn't real. Right. But those things didn't really exist because they looked real to me.
They totally didn't. And they kind of sided with them a little bit. Like it wasn't all like black and white with them. At the end, you kind of felt bad for them a little bit. I feel like.
Oh, I wasn't old enough to know what was going on. I just saw them and screamed. That was my involvement with Gargoyles, and I loved it.
Yeah, I think my dad told me it was scary. So anytime my dad told me something it freaked him out. It was always like, wait, this is the person that's supposed to protect me. Like maybe, like when he saw Halloween in '78, like he went to sleep with all the lights on in the house. And I was like, oh boy, that movie must be really scary. that must be it. So, yeah.
I was really excited when This House Possessed came on because I was a big fan of the Hardy Boys.
Yes.
And Parker Stevenson was in that movie. I liked Sean Cassidy better, but I'll take Parker Stevenson.
And that was all about Pamela Sue Martin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when she was on, it was on.
It was on.
When all three of them were on the same show, that was a good episode.
The Nancy Drew Hardy Boys Mysteries.
They went to Dracula's castle or something.
Yes.
That was a two-parter.
Did they meet Wolfman Jack in an episode? It seems like everybody met him on shows.
He was on Wonder Woman also.
Yes.
He was an evil DJ on Wonder Woman.
Oh man.
It was a big stretch.
Oh man.
He really showed off his acting chops. And it was like a disco episode too. He was like a disco DJ.
You know, when I was a kid, I was like, I can't wait to get to the 80s. And I was such an idiot. I should have just stuck like right. I mean, we had Mary Warnoff episodes of Charlie's Angels. We didn't know how good we had it.
You were right there where you should have been.
And I keep trying to get back there. I could have just stayed 8 forever in some endless loop watching Godzilla versus Megalon over and over again.
4:30 movie.
Yeah.
And look for those. What's I've been waiting for you about? Look at it.
I don't know that one.
Darren brought up The Spell with Lee Grant. The Spell's coming out on Blu-ray.
That one's good. Where do you think you got those powers from? That was a good bitch scene.
I like The Spell because she's just like a chubby girl that finally is like, I've had fucking enough.
Enough. She gets like,
yeah,
she gets like really kind of like a little bitchy the second when she gets like a little power hungry.
But as a fat kid that was bullied a lot, I was like, you know what? If I got powers, I would in no way be nice to anybody. Like everybody,
those people. Yeah,
everybody would pay.
I'd set a school on fire.
Yeah.
How about When Michael Calls? Remember that one?
I've never seen that one, and that one looks really creepy.
It's good.
Is it?
Highly recommended. Yeah.
I also recommend The Secret Midnight Caller because it has what's his name, Mr. Brady, as a prank phone caller, calling women up and talking dirty to them, as dirty as you can talk in a 70s TV movie. Damn, it's good.
I bet he would have done that for real.
Yeah.
Satan's School for Girls.
Yes.
I feel like we did that on this show.
Yeah, we did do that one too.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like Haunts of the Rich and Famous too, because it's pretty much speaking of movies with Mr. Brady in them, it's pretty much lost in an hour and a half and way better. It's the same idea, but it's really good. I get buried in TV movies. Like I love them so much. I think I've done like 400 or 500 on my site. But I could, especially because they're on YouTube now. They're slowly starting to come out on Blu-ray. But that's one of the joys is just going to YouTube and putting in TV movies in a year, and you get to see a whole bunch of free stuff. And it's like, wow, yeah. Hotline with Linda Carter is really good too. Mike brought that up.
Love it. Yeah, Hotline.
Yep. Scream Pretty Peggy's real good.
Oh, that girl is so annoying. I want to kill her.
How about The Last Song? Speaking of Linda Carter.
I've never seen that one.
Bobby from Night of the Dead of Night is so good. I love that one. Who's the woman in that? What's her name?
Vince knows all the good shit.
Good going, Vince. I love that one too. Bobby. And she's on the phone. That was such one of the first early like scary phone calls because she thinks she's talking to the husband. And she's like, he's out there. He's in the dark. And the husband keeps like repeating everything she says, just the last few words. Good to see it.
Matthew, how dare you? How dare you skip tonight's DIA flick and watch The Boston Strangler instead?
Oh.
It's probably a better movie than anything we watched.
Stranger Within.
I wouldn't say it's better than Grave of the Vampire.
No,
you wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't say. Well, I like Grave of the Vampire maybe more.
Yeah.
It felt a little TV movie.
I just watched a late TV movie from Lifetime, the Menendez brothers one with Courtney Love as Menendez's mother, and let me tell you.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, rough. And no, Gigi, Bad Ronald's the greatest.
It is.
It
really is. Secret Rooms.
It always works.
And I kind of lived it. Almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And we all want to kill the little bitchy girls. They're like, you're weird.
Yeah.
Push it down. And it was like, oh, sorry.
I want to just, Bill, you talked about maybe doing some decorative things before, really a set of Bad Ronald wallpaper so that you can do the inside of your house as if you were in Bad Ronald's kingdom.
Wow.
I think that's something like 8 people want, and I'm one of the 8, but I think that's something amazing.
What was her name, Paul?
I forgot. I just made something up and it's gone.
She was Princess somebody or other.
Yeah, like Princess Starlata or something. It's a crazy Carla. I don't know.
All those girls look the same in that family. They all had like long Marsha Brady hair.
Oh, it's so good. It's just like it's such a creepy. Just even the idea of it's creepy and like you should feel bad for him, but you really don't. And yeah, man, what a lightning in a bottle that movie is.
It really is. Trilogy of Terror. That's amazing. Killdozer.
Killdozer's great.
I need to re-see that one. That was
I haven't
early
seen Killdozer in forever.
Robert Urich, right?
I think so. I think that was Robert Urich. Yeah.
That's,
Duel was a TV movie.
Yeah, that just came out. Kino just put that out on Blu-ray too.
Yeah.
Duel.
No, yeah, Duel's good too.
I remember those. Duel's amazing. The one with like those Bermuda Triangle movies. Those used to freak me out a little bit.
I just
Chicks
watched
on
a
Classics.
really great one of those.
The one with the giant turtle.
Oh, that one's amazing. That's by the same people that made Gamera. They and Hanna-Barbera went together and did it. And boy, that movie is nuts. Like that movie is just like, what is going? Like, how did this ever get on TV? I got
Satan's Triangle.
my list.
Snow Beast.
My list of
Snow
TV
Beast,
movies.
R.I.P. Yvette Miu.
Mehmet Mew.
Bill, how did you get so far into this without bringing up "Don't Be Afraid of the Dark"?
Oh my!
Because I always bring that up. I was
so good.
I was deliberately not talking about "Don't Be Afraid of the Dark" because I'm always going
You
on.
want
about
somebody else? Sally. Sally.
We'll get her tonight. We'll get her tonight.
Oh my god! I was so excited for that remake, and they just fucked it up.
Thank you. I was so disappointed.
I was so disappointed. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be amazing," and it was like, ruined.
Yeah.
I really like, and I talked badly about Wes Craven earlier, so I'll say something nice. I really like his TV movie Invitation to Hell with Susan Lucci.
It's just that the beginning shot where she gets run over by the chauffeur, the limousine, and she just kind of like and burns him up.
Also, it has a G.I. Joe figure in it, and for Robert Urich. When he goes into space, there they just used the G.I. Joe, the figure of Ace, for that. That's how low the budget was for that movie.
What was the one was like a baby sarcophagus that was like breathing, and it was either on a yacht or on a plane.
Oh, Exorcism at 57,000 feet.
Yes.
Wow, you were really good.
Hey, I didn't. I was a person.
I'm very impressed.
What happens, right? You get really good memory.
Oh my god, you just did the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, but there was a yacht one too.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a yacht one.
There's definitely a yacht one.
Oh man.
Oh, how about Satan's Triangle?
Yes.
That movie blew my mind. There's a yacht in that movie. Although
I was obsessed with the fact that at some point I was going to get stuck in the Bermuda Triangle as a kid. Like it would draw me in, and like I was fated to be there. So.
Oh, Vince already mentioned Satan's Triangle. Of course he did.
I have an unopened, clamshell, sealed VHS copy of The Midnight Hour that a neighbor of mine was cleaning out their basement. Like, do you want any tapes? And I was like, yeah, I'll take that one. I didn't really pay attention to it. But it's kind of worth a little money on eBay. And I can't open it because then I'm like, so I've never seen that one.
Oh, man.
Hey, there's Roger. Hey, Roger.
Roger.
And yes, it is still scary.
Beyond the Bermuda Triangle is really good too. That's one I just saw with Fred McMurray as like an old yacht daddy that loses his young girlfriend to the Bermuda Triangle. Oh,
really?
Oh, Matt.
I wish I was like you, Matt, and had all that ahead of me. All those Chicks on Classics movies.
Yeah, I mean, they're all on YouTube. Just make tomorrow your Sun Classics Devirgination and just watch like the Mysterious Monsters and just be like, in search of historic Jesus, it's gonna blow your fucking mind.
In search of Noah's Ark.
In search of Noah's Ark. And what's great about these movies is it's like at no point does somebody say, maybe we should get an expert. Like, or maybe this is bullshit. Or maybe we should put up some kind of legal disclaimer. that this might be bullshit. No, people are like, fuck it, let's just do it. And,
Yeah.
and
Just
it's
put
great.
it out there.
Yeah.
Beyond and Back.
Oh man.
That one, my grandma took me to see that for a matinee.
I
She's
can't
like,
imagine being a child and seeing that in the theater and just being gripped by the fear that movie would give me.
I kept asking her, I'm like, is this real? Can
What was
this
that one
really
about?
happen? It's like after death experiences, near death experiences, and people that like I died and I was like, so
And there's a sequel that uses some of the same footage, but it's less of a documentary, more of like an emergency room where people keep getting killed and like waking up, and it's not as good, but it's there for you if you want it.
Cruise into Terror.
Yeah.
Mike
Thank you,
Justice
Mike
Chris.
Justice.
Nice job. Does that one hold up?
You know what one I really like, Bill, and it's not a horror movie, but Cocaine One Man Seduction with Dennis Weaver. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a whole
No.
movie where McLeod gets into coke, and then like a couple people try to get him to swing, and he's not into it. It's real good for a TV movie.
He would totally be into it.
Oh, of course, and he's like, I can't with my wife, and you can't imagine how much coke will be stuck in McLeod's mustache too. That's a hirsute, tight mustache. I wish I went to school with Roger. They showed him the Sun films in school. Wow, what a world to live in.
Wasn't there a movie about a sarcophagus on a train? Huh.
Well, that would be what do you call it? Horror Express, wouldn't it? Kind of, sort of.
That's the first on a train horror movie that I would think of.
Yeah.
I don't know too many on a train horror movies, really.
Well, Terror Train, but that's about it. That's not.
Yeah. Boom. I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
One of the movies at this year's April Ghouls Monsterama that we're so excited about, and I've never seen Terror Train on a big screen before.
I know you're going to be Mike and say, I've never seen Terror Train.
My uncle took me to go see that.
Show you the graphic again.
Look, I had this great uncle. He would take me to all these horror. He took me to see Star Wars. He took me to go see Superman, and it was like, as it was getting older, I was like, it was my turn to choose a movie. And I was like, Terror Train. And we went to go see it, and we never saw a movie together again.
Oh,
I was very disappointed with my choice.
That's upsetting.
Oh,
who on earth wouldn't like Terror Train? I ask you.
He was very upset with it.
Really?
An adult.
Even adults were like very like they didn't understand like young kids like Slash is just like just waiting for was watching.
I don't understand how someone could do magic tricks on a train, and I have a problem with this.
It was something bad. Like adults looked sideways at you if you wanted to go see movies like that. It was hard to find an adult who was into it, at least in my circle. I couldn't do it.
You had to go on your own.
I couldn't. I was too young. I had to wait till they were on HBO.
What's the first slasher movie you saw in a movie theater?
Halloween 2.
Friday 3 for me.
I think it was Friday 2 for me.
Yeah. I wish I could have seen that in a theater.
81 was a good year for all those.
Yeah, I wasn't old enough to go. I had to find somebody to take me, but someone did take me to see Halloween 2 after I begged and begged and begged. So
that was 81 too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
81 was another good year.
It's the best year.
Absolutely. It's a stellar year for not only for slashers, but for all horror films.
Yeah.
Tonight's first feature, Grave of the Vampire, was reissued in 1981. We talked about it during the ad gallery segment, but I forgot to mention that it was on Siskel and Ebert on sneak previews as a dog of the week.
They're like, this movie's 9 years old.
It was a dog of the week. It's funny because another dog of the week was Rituals when they reissued it as The Creeper. They singled it out for their dog of the week, and there was a whole bunch of people that wrote in about it, and on the next episode they had to like, because they were talking about how it had been reissued and they didn't know what the old name was. They're like, this movie looks really old, I bet it had another name at some point. And a bunch of people wrote in to tell them it was Rituals, and they even said it on the air. They're like, we're sorry, we didn't know what that movie was. But they
Hal Holbrook.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just saw that recently. That was kind of really creepy.
Yeah.
It's good.
Shoe stolen. It was like, oh, that's the worst. What do you do?
They were way off on a lot of the stuff they talked about. I didn't always disagree with them, and they did like some cool shit. But they more often than not they would rag on a movie like that. But they picked Grave of the Vampire as a dog of the week under the name Seed of Terror, and like Roger picked that, and Gene picked Garden of the Dead as his dog of the week. So they had obviously seen the same double feature. Gene's review of Garden of the Dead was really funny, and I have to admit it was dead on. He just was like, it's so silly, and there's huffing formaldehyde and they come back as zombies. So yeah, we I don't know, I guess it would have been too obvious for us to have done both of those movies tonight.
So the Ritual was also called The Creeper? That's pretty good. And did they ever show him?
Yeah, they show him.
At the end, they kill him?
I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time. They have to. Hal Holbrook kills him, and I think he's the last one standing.
He's like, I'm top billed. I get to live. Special guest star does not get to live.
Oh, if I remember correctly, he's not standing. He's sitting cross-legged in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It still counts.
God's bloody acre.
Uncle Spooky, really fun having you on the show tonight.
Oh my God. Thank you for having me. I hear my coffin creaking though. I think I gotta go see what's happening in it.
All right. So be sure not to get any sunlight on you, and hopefully you'll be back soon.
Yes.
With something
Sam,
spooky.
Bill, everybody. How do I get out of here?
Stay blue.
How do I get out of here? Hey.
Stay blue. And we'll see you next time.
What do you think of horror films with horror hosts? It's a great question.
All right. So now it's just me and you, Sam.
I'm coming back.
Oh, of course you choose now to get.
No, I had to plug my phone because it died. I'm like, oh, because I was looking at facts on it.
Don't you have some mail items to show us?
I think I may. Let me grab them. A big stack. These all came today. Look at that stack. That stuff. Lionsgate sent me this. I don't know if anyone's seen this. Heels, the wrestling TV show. I think I'm probably the right person to review that, right? American Werewolf in London from Arrow, UHD. Come Drink With Me, which is the Hong Kong movie. And Deadly Games, which I've never seen, so I'm very excited about those. And then MVD is putting out the movie Ghost Riders, which is pretty cool. Never seen that. And then I got 4 from Mondo Macabro, who always put out literally the wildest stuff. Hiroku the Goblin. The Dagmar Lassenger movie, The Laughing Woman. Very excited about that.
That had a million different titles, didn't it?
I do believe so, yeah.
That was one of those like sexploitation movies, and it kept coming out again and again and again with different titles. They all did.
And then I
didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, please. School of Death.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. That's like, that had another title as well.
Yeah.
I had to research that because it's something that I wrote, and I've never seen that. That's exciting.
These will be in your box for the April drive-in. Or maybe even if I see you for our secret project that we're not allowed to talk about next week.
The one we can't talk about yet.
Yeah. And Succubus is the other one. The folk horror movie.
Oh, wait, not Jess Franco's.
Not Jess Franco, but hey, if you like Jess Franco, I mean, God damn it. Some asshole's writing a lot about Jess Franco this week. We can talk. I've been told that well, there's 2 secret projects now. I've been told that we're allowed to talk about the secret project 1 in a couple weeks, but there's a coordinated effort to discuss that. Secret project 2 we'll be allowed to talk about maybe a little sooner. So, but anyway, let's move on to real things.
Anyway, I have some items to show too.
Please do.
I took advantage of Severin's flash sale that they had earlier.
I was going to ask if you were going to buy something. And
I did. I got A Day of Judgment, which you're not the only person who's told me about this. I think Lynn Hatcher was telling me about this movie too.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
It's the only religious slasher I've ever seen, and there's a lot of Bill in it.
Yeah. So I ordered A Day of Judgment, and I also got their Day of the Animals.
That's a quality pick right there. We showed that on the show.
It is. Yeah. We did that on the show, but I picked it up because there's a commentary on it from Lee Gambin. Friendly Lee Gambin, who was in a couple of issues of Drive-In Asylum, let us use some really great stuff.
He's on the Antichrist Blu-ray that just came out from.
Yeah, I've never heard him do a commentary, so this is going to be the first time I listened to Lee's commentary. Yeah. I read his book, Massacred by Mother Nature, a wonderful tome on the eco-horror genre that I highly recommend. And he's got, he's got a great book about musicals. It's a line from Grease. I can't remember the name of the title. I'm sorry, Lee. But anyway.
Yeah, Vince, Prominent 4 is kind of religious, but the movie Bill got is like literally like a moral parable using a slasher. Yeah, there's really nothing like it. It's weird. As soon as, like, literally 20 minutes into it, I texted Dawn. I'm like, you got to get this movie because it speaks to so many things that you like. Also, it has long stretches where literally nothing happens. It's very Needful Things, but like on like a $10 budget, which really shouldn't every movie be. Also,
oh yeah, and a $10 budget. Once I hear those words, you have me.
Also, big Vinegar Syndrome sale coming up, Bill, for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I heard something about that. So they're going to try and siphon more money, and I'm sure it'll be successful.
They're giving away, if you look at their post, I do not work for them, but I hope people win. You can win a $20 gift card or a $250 gift card if you enter the contest, which is pretty exciting. So,
I never win anything like that. So
I mean. Yeah. Would I buy Pretty Peaches if I had a $250 gift card? Yeah, I would. Because then people couldn't track it on the credit card that are sleeping right now.
I should have seen where that was going right away.
Yeah, exactly.
It is the third segment. Forgive me.
That's all right. You're drinking a Coke. Are you drinking a Coke like demons, though?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a straw that goes up my nose out of this Coke can.
Sometimes when I'm in a bad mood with work and stuff, I just literally put on my Demons Blu-ray and just move it to that section of the movie and then just laugh like a maniac. And then that's all I watch, just that one section.
I know. I don't know how many times I've seen Demons. Every time I watch it, it just gets better. The last couple times I've watched it, I've started obsessing over that woman that goes, she sees her reflection in the mirror and she starts doing her lipstick. Like in the middle of like a demon attack, she's doing her lipstick in the mirror.
I do really wonder, there's that new Evil Dead coming out, that Evil Dead High Rise.
I heard something about that.
Yeah. Doesn't that really seem like Demons 2?
Demons 2. Well, I saw on Facebook that someone ran a promo graphic for it, and it's sort of a ripoff of a graphic for Demons.
Yeah.
And,
it's like the hand coming up, like the
yeah. So you saw that too.
Yeah. So I said, "Is this some fan made this? Is like this would be a fun project." No,
my lighting suddenly went dark.
I know. I thought you were going for effect.
No, my prop just fell over.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm not excited about all. You know what I did watch this week that I did like, Bill? I watched Nightmare Alley, the Del Toro remake. and I really liked it.
Speaking of Del Toro remakes, we just mentioned his "Don't Be Afraid of the Dark," so I'm glad he did something right for
Well, he
for a
only
remake.
produced that; he didn't direct that, so I give
Yeah.
him a slight pass. The other thing I want to know is the prequel to that movie Orphan came out like a week ago, and what happened? Like it's like there was a $30 million remake of Children of the Corn that came out in 2021 that nobody has ever seen. It played in like one theater for like a day. Like how does this happen in our world today?
That was a movie that kind of snuck up on me. I didn't expect to like that. I don't know how I started watching Orphan. I'm talking about Orphan.
Yeah.
I got stuck watching that. I was like, "Oh, this is on," and I got sucked into it, and I really dug it.
It works because it's got a good what a twist. It's got a good twist in it. I'm built for the site. I have been, if you're following my site, it's all Jess Franco for a whole month, and man, are my eyes tired. I have so many theories; they'll be expounded in each of them, but I've kind of drank the Kool-Aid, as it were. And then next month's all canon movies. So
I knew this would happen.
you knew it. Well, it's funny because you can see as you read the reviews, you're like, I don't know what, I don't get any of this. And then it's like, you know what? This is fucking genius. Every camera should zoom directly into the set. I said, you know what's amazing? Within 30 years, we went from Kroger Bab's mom and dad, where like men had to pay to see a woman naked as long as she was delivering a baby. Like that's the only one of the main reasons that movie sold. Suddenly, 30 years later, Jess Franco could just zoom cameras directly into women, and that, I guess that's progress, exploitation wise. So there you go. And then all canon movies. And let me tell you, the other day, I know we mostly watch horror movies, but if you like action movies and you watch American Ninja, those movies are fucking crazy because the second one somehow brings in like DNA modification and like you're like, wait, I just thought this was about a bunch of ninjas going to Hawaii for fun. No, it's not. It gets real sci-fi on you, and it's good. I have a real weakness for everything Canon did. I realized, Bill, like because they kind of like don't give a fuck. Like it's like, you know, some movies people would watch it and be like, you know, this movie doesn't really make any sense, and we don't know how to sell it, and they're just like, yeah, okay. That's fine. We already sold it to HBO. We're good. Just get it out there.
Yeah, they were definitely at the top of the game of those machines that cranked out product, and they knew that it didn't really matter what the product was. It was just how they marketed it, and it had to be some rudiment. And I mean, I know that sounds like a diss, but it really isn't, because a lot of those movies really ended up being something like you said, like you're watching and you're like, what the hell does this even mean?
But it's like every once in a while they'll make.
That's not a bad thing.
Every once in a while they'll make a really great one, like Invasion USA. Well, okay, Invasion USA is not a great movie, but for a drive-in action movie, it is, because you get Richard Lynch and you get Chuck Norris. And it's just like, yeah, this like Delta Force. Like I realized when I watch these movies, I don't agree with any of the jingoistic politics in them. Like the Sam, like the outside Sam is very much like, yeah, this feels really weird. But then like Canon watching Sam is like, yeah, let's fucking shoot terrorists in the face. Like it's a very different, I revert back to my G.I. Joe tendencies. But man, they did make a few slashers though. There's X-Ray, which should be a Valentine's Day movie, right?
Oh yeah, it is a Valentine's Day movie.
Yeah. So Schizoid. They did a few quasi slashers. New Year's Evil.
New Year's Evil, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of New Year's Eve movies.
Yeah. Though, you know what? Nobody should watch every Lemon Popsicle movie. Somehow, I'm like, it's like torture. Like, God, do I have to watch another one of these? I've watched like 4 of them so far, and one of the side stories out of like 10 of them. And I'm like, man, these are. But you know what? It's like you get OCD and you're like, I got to watch. It's like Pokemon. I got to catch them all. I got to watch all these canon movies. I got to watch all these. Any small company that put out movies
How do you feel about Crown International?
Oh, I have a Crown International letterbox list that I am gradually picking away at the Crown International list because they a lot of Mill Creek sets went nuts on getting the Crown International movies. So.
I've been branching out in the Crown International movies because I never really cared all that much. But since I was talking to Pat Carty, like he told me a lot about Crown International and the way that they worked. And I was like, now I kind of get it.
Yeah.
What the appeal is about just like, focusing on these studios that put out this material. So
it's interesting because it's
I have lots more to see.
They're very formless, but like, it's almost like a comic book company. Like, do they have a house style? Like, like Canon really doesn't. Canon's just like a content generator. You know what I mean? Like, let's get this stuff out. And it's not like Blumhouse, I guess, which kind of has like a kind of, whatever their house style is. But yeah, it's interesting to see.
Blumhouse style?
Yeah. There's like, but Canon is nuts because they put out like 60 movies a year. That's insane. Do you know what I mean? Like they were putting out like 4 or 5 movies a month, and not just the video. I mean, in theaters. And
sure, yeah.
They put out some wild stuff, like Sword of the Valiant, that has Sean Connery as the Green Knight. Like, why did Ridley Scott have to make Green Knight after this movie? Sean Connery is covered in glitter, and his outfit has a giant. This outfit is worse than Zardoz. He has like a giant triangle that's cut open here, and it has like a tree painted on his chest. And he just has like a beard full of glitter and face paint. And he fights Ator in it. So really 200 stars out of 5. Roger claims that he's bringing Moonshine too, so I'm very excited to see Roger in April.
Oh, Roger, last time you brought Moonshine, it really changed the day after.
Yeah, he was like, this is real sweet, and but don't be fooled. And I was like, nah, it's just, it tastes good. And then, yeah, the next day.
Hospital Massacre, the AKA of X-Ray.
Yeah, Crown International put out some wild stuff. They put out like Cave Girl and Jocks and just some ridiculous stuff. But
yeah, well, I mentioned Coach on the previous segment. That one was that was really risky. I don't know if you could do something like that today. Like that whole story, she becomes the coach of a high school basketball team and then starts sleeping with one of the players, aka a high school student.
Yeah, Crown just kind of did what they wanted. It's the same way as Private Lessons. Sylvia Christel, like when you see it and you're like 14, like, yeah, I wish Sylvia Christel was my tutor. But then you're like older, you're like, no, that kid's 14. Like that's real uncomfortable.
Oh, Pineapple, Roger, you're killing me. Pineapple's my fave.
Malibu High is a favorite, John, because it's one of those movies where you're like, oh, this is going to be a fun romp. No, it's not. It's just it's gonna crush you.
Malibu High is the one that the guy who made Don't Go Near the Park made.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. I can't remember his name, but he was really young when he made those. He was like 19 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's kind of amazing. And like you said earlier, like they were making 60 movies a year. This was when you didn't have digital stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't as easy to make that many movies in a year.
No,
as it might be today, How many hundreds of movies can you make now?
I was thinking about that as I'm doing the Jess Franco month, where it's like Franco's last movies are shot on video. They're not good, but they're shot on video. And it's like, man, if he had nonlinear editing and like digital video like now, like how many more movies would he make? Like, I mean, it's crazy because now, and a lot of times he was reusing footage from other movies. Well, with digital editing, so much easier to do that kind of stuff where it's like, I'll just grab some of this and grab some of that.
Yeah.
That's
oh my God.
That's how editing works.
Somebody like him would have, but then he wouldn't have been working the same way.
Yeah.
He's
like, let me rent this hotel conference room so I can just shoot my mistress naked for 4 hours.
Yeah, it might not have been so special.
Yeah, I would argue that it's not always so special, but yeah. But
I say that, sort of.
That's the thing, though. Is like sometimes I feel like some kind of like protectiveness towards
Thank
these
you,
kind of-
Don.
these directors. You know, where I'm like, yeah, but they are still pretty awesome.
Don Guarisco, who wrote a review of Grave of the Vampire in the new issue of Drive-In Asylum.
Oh,
This is a good opportunity for me to plug it one more time in the third segment.
I'm looking up my list of Crown International, Bill, if we have time. I don't know how tired everybody is.
Okay, go ahead.
Blood Mania is another good one that they put out.
Well, yeah, Mike Justice mentioned
Oh,
that
did he?
earlier.
Okay.
Here it is. The cover of the new Drive-In Asylum. I haven't decided what color it's going to be. So you're looking at the black and white mock-up at the moment. But we got lots of good stuff in this one. And it's been a long time in the making. I'm sorry it has taken so long. To everybody who's been waiting and everyone who contributed, sorry it took me so long to make it real. But it's finally happened. It'll be on sale probably tomorrow. But if not tomorrow, then Monday. And I'll talk all about it on Facebook. Sam, back to your Crown International list.
I was going to say my top Crown ones are The Hearse, a movie Bill and I watched on a New Year's Eve one night, which seemed really weird to watch with a whole room of people, but we did it.
Did we?
Yeah, I remember my
remember
father-in-law
that.
picked it. He was like, let's watch The Hearse. And we're like, okay. 9 Deaths of the Ninja, which is great. Sexette, which is not great. And but I like it.
Sextet?
Sextet, yeah. The Side Hackers, Single Room Unfurnished, or Furnished, sorry, which is great. Tomboy, which I kind of have a weakness for. Trip with the Teacher, which is pretty good. Van Nuys Boulevard, which is good as well. And Yellow Hair and the Fortress of Gold, which is not good, but I'll watch it anytime it's on. And Bill, the other company I'm obsessed with, similarly, obviously, you know this, is Film Ventures International, because those dudes knew what they were doing too, I think.
Well, Sextet was the movie that Mae West was making. She was considering Bud Townsend, the director of Terror House, and that's why she had a screening of Terror House for a few industry folks, and she invited Linda and the entire crew of Terror House to the screening. Obviously, she went with somebody else. Who directed Sextet? Do you know?
I could look that up. That would
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to be.
Matt asked, "I like Franco as much as Joe D'Amato." No, not even a contest. Joe's number one in my world. And then Bruno Mattei after that.
Yeah, I was going to ask where he falls in the hierarchy.
I almost said something. There's a reason why I have to like Bruno better. But yeah.
Don't go too far.
Don't go too far. Ken Hughes directed it, Bill. The same guy who directed Night School.
Yes, that's why I was thinking of that.
And wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. What a fucking weird career, really, when you think about it.
Night School was his final film, wasn't it?
Yeah, he also did The House Across the Lake for Hammer, and Time Slip in 1955. Yeah, I'm looking at his list of movies. Night School is his last movie right after Sextet. He had like a nice little 3-year break, and he was like, I don't know if I should make anything else after that movie. And he also did Shark with Burt Reynolds, a real early sharksploitation movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one was really controversial because one of the stunt guys who worked on that was killed by one of the sharks.
Yeah.
And the producers of the film, you still used it. They used the footage.
He's also one of the people one of the many people that worked on Casino Royale, which was, as we know, was a mess. The original one,
mm-hmm.
But he also worked on that too. What a crazy career to be kind of all over the place doing that, and then end up making Mae West's last movie, and then making Night School, a movie that Bill and I have discussed it. If only it had 1 or 2 better kills, it would be perfect. It's like so close. You're like, this is really good.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't. It doesn't cross the.
It's still good. It's not a waste. I like it.
Yeah.
But it could be a little bit better than it is.
It's so close. That's what's frustrating
mm-hmm.
about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to make a Night School fan cut and just put a murder from some other movie in it.
The scene with the head in the soup, just a little grosser, They're just like a little, like the spoon goes in, like, oh wait, there's a head in here. Like just maybe just a little more of that.
There's a cut of Blood Beach on YouTube, and it actually, you know how you never see the monster in Blood Beach until the very end. Well, there's a cut of it on there that inserts footage from another monster movie in some of the monster kill scenes where people get sucked down into the sand.
Oh wow!
There's like a couple frames of them underneath the sand being mauled by this monster, but it's clearly from another film, and I'm pretty sure it's the Lorelei's grasp. It has like a couple of other scenes, like because it's like a reptilian hand.
You think that makes it better?
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
but it's a fan cut. You know, obviously the director of Blood Beach would disagree, but we could make a cut of Night School like that. We'll put it on YouTube.
I'm good with that. That goes into one of our other major projects of making the movie of the poster, not the Fulci Schizoid, making that movie that's on the poster. It's just 2 hours of bat attacks, giant vampire bats.
It's Nightwing, but earlier.
Yeah. So that was one of my favorite times ever watching the movie at a drive-in, because when that scene happened, you were so happy. You were like, this. You said to me, like, this movie's really crazy, and you're like, I don't know what's going on, but I really like it. And I said, yeah, wonderful.
I just went with it. I was like, I know I'm not going to understand this, so I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah, lizard and women's skin is what we're discussing. In case
I needed you to explain it to me at some point, like what some of it meant. But
well, it is. I've watched it a lot of times, and there's still points in it where I'm like, I don't know if he's lost the plot at this point or not, but I just go with it. Like, it's great. And then that's the best part was like the dog scene, like an audible gasp emerged from people's cars. People were like, wow, this movie is like 50 years old, but it's still pretty shocking.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something else.
Next week on the Drive-In Asylum double feature, we'll be doing 2 rip-off movies for all of you. Both movies are rip-off movies. Shocking Dark is the first one, and the second one is
Alien 2, ... on Earth.
Solitaire.
I'm excited. I've never seen that one, but I've seen Shocking Dark a whole bunch of times. Probably more than anyone should. And someone said, this looks like it's going to be worse than, what do you call it? What's the worst movie we ever showed?
Damnation Alley?
It's better than Damnation Alley.
Oh, it's way better than Damnation Alley.
Yeah. It's got Greta in it making Italian slurs for most of the movie, which should have been, but like enjoy. Yeah. Trigger warning for Italians. You're not going to like her character in this movie.
Shocking Dark is way better than Alien 2, but it's Alien 2 is still good. It's something that's so bizarre. I can't even believe that it exists. That somebody thought that they were going to make this sequel, this unofficial sequel to Alien. So yeah, that was just really over the line. That's the limit.
Hey, Zombie is an unofficial sequel to Dawn of the Dead. And arguably,
that's true.
Arguably, not better, but as good in a different way.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Vince, I wish we could watch The Intruder Within, but it's just going to be those 2 movies. Make sure you come back and hang with us next weekend, next Saturday at 8 p.m. And thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Sam, thanks for being on the show. Always with me. It's a lot of fun. And we'll see you all next time.
Under 16, not admitted without parents or guardians. 17 not admitted without parents.